At the second place, there is the moment in which I thought that I was gonna die alone in Cuba. Um, Hi there, welcome to the video. Today I'll be sharing with you the 4 toughest moments that I experienced while traveling. As you saw right there in the sign, I'm currently in the Sornara Natural Reserve, which is located in the south of Italy. I will now be taking a walk and let's get right into it. So at the 4th place of the toughest moments that I experienced while traveling, there is what happened to me in UAE, in the United Arab Emirates. I was visiting the country for a couple of weeks. I had already been in Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Dubai, Al Ain, and once I visited the city of Al Ain, which is located in the south of UAE, almost at the border with Oman, I thought of crossing the border in Oman, but I couldn't find any kind of information online on how to do it, which would be the border crossing, how much you need to pay, and all these kind of informations. And so I just one day just looked on Google Maps, found the closer border crossing to me in there in UAE to Oman, and I just asked the taxi driver to drop me off there. I paid him, I took my backpack, and once I saw the border crossing, there were 2 pathways, one for the cars and one for the people on foot, but the one for people on foot was actually shut. There was a gate there which was closed, so I thought of like, okay, I'll just walk through the one where cars are passing, and if somebody says something they will say it. And that's actually what happened. I tried to cross from there, and suddenly a border officer started shouting. I couldn't see him initially, then he just came out of a back door somewhere and he started shouting even more. He got closer, he started to talk to me, and his English was not so good. He was talking half in Arabic and half in English, and I was just trying to explain him that I just wanted to cross the border, and that I didn't know where can I do that. So I just saw the border crossing and I just came there, and he was telling me that no, this place is just for people from Kuwait, from Qatar, so from all these Middle Eastern countries, and possibly I think also just for crossing with the car. And so then we stayed there for 20 minutes. He was trying to explain me where I could actually cross while walking, and with my Italian nationality and all of that. And the problem was that also that we couldn't find the name of the border crossing, which he knew in Arabic, to find it on Google Maps in English. So he didn't know the name in English, so we were just like looking there on Google Maps, like just going through the map. And at the end he told me which one was it. It was more or less fine at the end, but it just at the first moment I almost felt like maybe they were gonna shoot me or something, so that was pretty tough in that moment. But at the end he was nice and polite, so it was very good at the end. But once he told me where it was, it seemed kind of far. I needed to then find another taxi to get there, and I was not even sure if I could actually pass because he was not sure as well. So at the end I just gave up and decided to go back in Al Ain, and then at the end of the trip I just flew out from Abu Dhabi. At the 3rd place of the toughest moments that I experienced while traveling, there is the event that happened to me in Guatemala. I was visiting the country for maybe 3 weeks, and I had just crossed the border from Mexico into Guatemala, and I was in Huehuetenango, also known as Huehue from the locals, which is the first city that you encounter when you cross the border from Mexico. And I don't know if you have ever been there, but the way it works, the means of transportation, the main means of transportation within the country are chicken buses, which are basically old American school buses converted into public buses, and they are all painted, blasting cumbia all the time, all this kind of music inside, and they just try to fill up as many people as they can, and they put all the luggage on top of the bus with some ropes and stuff. So it's pretty interesting to see as a foreigner. The only thing is that the fee in the bus is not really specified, it's not written anywhere, so for a foreigner it's really hard to understand which is the fair rate that you should be paying for getting from one place to another. And also another thing is that you can actually ask the driver to just drop you anywhere on the way, so the rate can vary quite a lot. And so I was trying to get from Huehuetenango to Quetzaltenango, which is known as Chela for the Guatemalans, and they like I asked the guy, who there is usually a guy who works inside, not the driver, who comes and collects the fee at some point during the ride. And I asked the guy, and he told me a price, which was, I think, like, he said like 50 quetzal, which is the Guatemalan currency. And but it felt a bit expensive, to be honest, and I felt like he was trying to scam me, just because obviously I was looking as a foreigner. And so yeah, I just sat down, and then then he came and he collected the fee. I gave him the 50 quetzal, but I was getting more and more suspicious, and I started to ask the locals, who were already in the bus as well, which would be the fair rate getting from this city to this city. And they were also not so into telling me exactly how much it should be. I think they were also scared. They didn't want to get in trouble, because obviously he was scamming me. So yeah, at the end I managed to talk to someone that was close to me, and they explained me that maybe I needed to pay like 35 instead of 50. So like he was more or less ripping me off of like $15 more or less. And in the meantime, there were also some other backpackers whom got into the bus, and I think he scammed them as well. But so when he then passed again, the guy working in the bus, when he came again to collect the money from some other people, then I asked him, obviously, like, hey, you need to give me the money back, all of that. I know that you're trying to scam me here, that you stole some money from me, all of that stuff. But he was like denying everything. He was like, no, this is not true, the rate is 50 from here to here, all of that. But I was so sure, because it was totally evident that he was scamming me, and he actually also scammed these other guys, these other foreigners. And so at the end, after so much discussions, he was just trying to get away and everything, he gave me the money back. But the problem is that he had scammed also these other guys, and obviously when they saw that he gave me the money back, they also asked him to get their money back. But he was not so willing to do it, because then it was getting like very obvious that he had like scammed 10 different people on the bus. So it was like, I don't know if he was ashamed or whatever, but he was also like a little guy, and like I think he was getting scared. Oh shit, there is. And so yeah, at the end the thing is that this other guy tried to get his money back, but the guy working on the bus didn't want to give it to him, so a fight exploded from that. And so at the end, I had to intervene. This was happening right next to me, and I got in between them. I was trying to separate them and to also try to convince the guy working on the bus to give the backpacker his money, because obviously it was not fair, and like it was getting, and this was all happening while the bus was going like 100 kilometers per hour on in the mountains of Guatemala. So it was getting like more and more dangerous, like people were moving from one side to the other. So at the end we managed to convince him, almost a bit through threatening him, especially the guy who got into the fight with him. And so yeah, that was it. Guys, this place right here, it's so beautiful. It's very close to my house, and I used to come when I was younger very often, almost every Sunday. And look how stunning it is. That's why it's a natural reserve. And let's look at the animals that you can find. Oh, those are the foxes. But trust me, I have seen also so many wild boars around here. Sometimes you're just walking and they, like, I don't know, maybe like 15 wild boars cross in front of you. Like, that's the moment when you need to get scared, guys, because I don't know, I read online some things like you just need to stay away, and if they start chasing you, then you just need to apparently climb on a tree. But yeah, that's not an easy task right there.
Vengo de muchos lugares y en ninguno me he quedado. Navego de puerto en puerto con la cumbia a mi lado. Soy pirata de la cumbia y en mi barco voy tocando esas notas alegres que los vientos van soplando. Viajero y cumbianchero, el acordeón es mi idioma. En cada puerto que llego las mujeres se enamoran. A mí eso no me importa, mi deseo tiene otra forma. Las cumbias que yo compongo son materia de otra cosa. Corazón, corazón anclado, anclado en tu querer. Un barco encallado que no puede volver.
So I'm now gonna take a seat on this bench right here, and I will explain you the last two toughest moments that I experienced while traveling. So at the second place, there is the moment in which I thought that I was gonna die alone in Cuba. So basically, I was visiting Cuba. I had just arrived. I was in Havana for 2 days, and from there I moved to Varadero, which is another, it's maybe like 1 hour away from Cuba, 1 or 2 hours from Havana. And so when I had arrived, I arrived late in the night and I didn't want to go out to find some water to drink and stuff. And I just asked the lady in the hostel, who was the owner of the hostel in which I was staying, if I could drink the water from the tap, because I was not sure. And she told me, yeah, you can, it's probably not so good, like, but we drink it. She said, I drink it every day. And then I asked another guy who was staying, he was a backpacker, if he, what he was doing, where he was finding his water, and he said, yeah, I'm also drinking the water from the tap. So I thought, okay, maybe I can do it, and I started drinking the water from the tap. But by the time that I got in Varadero, already during the shared taxi trip that I took to there, I was feeling very bad. I was feeling like I needed to puke and all of that. And so that's actually what happened after 2 hours in Varadero. I started feeling very bad. I think I got some food poisoning, and I started puking here and there. Like, I was feeling very, very bad, guys. That was probably the worst physical moment that I have felt, like during the worst physical pain that I felt during all my travels. And so what happened there was that luckily that city is very touristy. It's full of Canadians and Americans that go there for the beaches. The beaches are awesome there. And so there was luckily an international clinic there. So I just took a taxi to get to the clinic because I was totally dying. And so luckily the doctors there were very nice, and they did me like a phlebo. They gave me some pills and stuff. They let me sleep there for 3 or 4 hours, and after 3 or 4 hours with all those medicines and antibiotics that they gave me, I started to feel better, and luckily I got quite better. But guys, I felt bad for at least like a week in total after that. Okay, I will start walking again because the sun is too strong right in my eyes here on this bench. But the last and first toughest moment that I experienced while traveling, there is actually, oh, there are some birds. I'm not sure. I don't know if you can hear them. What it is, I'm not sure. But basically, what happened to me, it's that unfortunately this happened in my country. It's a pity. It happened in Italy. I was visiting Milan for for 1 day, and so I didn't have a hotel or any place booked. I was just gonna stay for a day, and I was walking around with my backpack with everything inside, and I saw a Starbucks. I went inside because I just wanted to make a video call and use their Wi-Fi and stuff and everything. So I sat down inside. I thought that it was a more or less safe place. I was inside, there were cameras and all of that. I left my backpack right next to me on the floor. I was just drinking something and making a video call, so I was a bit not so focused on my backpack, but rather focused on the video call. And I don't know, I stayed there maybe for 30-40 minutes talking, and then all of a sudden I turn around and I see that my backpack is gone. I started asking, like, you know, like the people that work there in the coffee shop, like if they had seen him, if they had seen the backpack, if they have seen anyone going away with it or something like that, if I could see the cameras or whatever. And they were telling me no, that actually they cannot even view themselves the cameras because only the police can do it and all of that. So I realized that somebody had stolen my backpack, and I was lucky. That was the only luck that I had on that day, is that I had taken out the wallet just like maybe 2 minutes before, like when I arrived in the Starbucks to pay for something that I was drinking there. So luckily I had at least the wallet with me and the phone, but in the backpack I had an old iPad and some clothes, a book that I really liked, and some few other stuff, some sunglasses. And yeah, so I called the police and they told me, hey, yeah, we're gonna send someone or something like that, or that I needed to go to do like the papers that I'm like how can I say, like denouncing this. And so yeah, I just went out and like started running just to try to find someone, but I didn't know even like how long ago this had happened. I saw even a police car on the street. I asked them like about this. I just told them like if they can look around and all of that for my blue backpack. But yeah, at the end I went to the police station. I did the papers and everything, but 1 year has passed since then and nothing happened. I don't know if they have even gone there to look at the cameras and stuff, but it's actually very hard to find these pickpocketers. So yeah, guys, if you go in the big cities in Italy, like be careful with that. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna close the video right here. That was all, more or less, what I remembered. And I hope you liked the video. Let me know in the comments down below if you had any experiences similar to these, or what were your toughest experiences while traveling. And if you like the video, then subscribe and stay tuned for the next one. Bye guys.